Coral reef preservation is vital. Even though they cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, they produce 50% of the world's oxygen and absorb 1/3 of the carbon emissions. My name is Marsella Munoz. I'm 17 years old. I'm a scientific research diver in training, and I focus on coral restoration and conservation. I have been a scuba diver since the beginning of my 8th grade year, and I remember just the first dive that I went, and I remember thinking, wow, there are so many coral, and it's vibrant, and it's beautiful, and then I watched that decline over the next 5 years. And watching something that you love die sparks a fire. I am a part of Dive Into Life, which is a STEM enrichment program for kids who want to make an impact in their community. Through diving, I have participated in coral restoration, and the end goal really is to restore the reefs to their former glory 50 years ago. And that's gonna take some time, but I'm in it for the long haul. So we went on a scuba dive today, and we did a survey dive. Here, it was definitely a very healthy seagrass ecosystem, so it was exactly what we wanted to see. What we wouldn't want to see is a bunch of nutrient indicator algae, for example, our Dictyota. Dictyota is an algae that indicates if there's a high level of nutrients in the water, and it inhibits the baby corals from settling and naturally taking back over the reef. There's a huge sargassum patch blooming in South Florida. Water quality, especially here in the lower Florida Keys, is affected by all of the runoff. We get a lot of agricultural runoff. The fertilizers, they really alter the nitrogen to phosphorus ratios in the oceans, so algae is taking over. The sargassum on the beaches in South Florida are definitely from the poor water quality, and it's really not something that we want to be seeing in our waters. The reefs are important because they sustain the economy, especially in the Florida Keys. I mean, we're a town of the tourism industry and the fishing industry, and that all stems from the reef. Today, we are working on our baseline study that we've been working on for over a month now, and we're looking at how what we feed corals affects its growth, and if it really has any importance in the type of foods we feed the coral. So the foods that we have decided to feed the coral are roe, artemia, and golden pearls. And then of course we have our control group. This is super important because it'll allow us to grow coral fragments more efficiently, knowing which food helps them develop the fastest. Climate change definitely has a large effect on the health of the coral reefs, and they've really seen a huge downfall in their healthy coral coverage over the past 50 years. I mean, over 50% of them are dead. The warming of the waters causes stress to the coral, and that makes them expel their zooxanthellae, which is their color. It's an algae, and that's caused by a multitude of stressors, but really in today's time, climate change is a huge contributor to that. So doing what we can to reduce our carbon emissions, our greenhouse gases, etc., is really important to not even just the health of us and humans, but to the health of everything else on the planet, including what's underwater. It's really important to me that everyone knows how their choices can affect the coral reefs, and how our policies can affect the coral reefs, and how it can affect all marine ecosystems. I was invited to the State of the Union address by the Honorable Congresswoman Debbie Mucarsel-Powell, and it was an incredible opportunity to be able to speak firsthand with our Congresswoman about the issues that I was seeing at my home and what I thought she could do to help us. I mean, she was very invested in what I was telling her, and she wanted me as a guest there to bring to light the issue that we're facing in South Florida. I like to think of myself as both an activist and a researcher, but I love to back up my activism with my own research, because that is the way that I will be able to influence policy. I will be able to gain people's ears, and they will listen to me as a credible source. And I am able to stand behind that data and be an activist and advocate for the reefs in that way. My name is Marsella Munoz. I'm a climate change maker, and my hope is that one day the coral reefs will flourish in spite of human impact.